because people keep taking them out. But this all hinges on a really important thing, that we like cute animals and we're really happy to spend £3 a month, £3 a month to save this animal. Whereas in fact, all animals, irrespective of what they look like, are in fact do have an ecological and benefit on this planet. So, my animal, my favourite animal that I've got is this guy. It is an octopus, and I love him so much. I had one tattooed on my arm, and at the end of this, you guys are going to go out and get one too. This is Paul. He's the most famous octopus, and he can predict World Cup matches. There we go. He's dead now, unfortunately. This world record. This is incredible. This is the Australian blue-ringed octopus. It is the most venomous animal on Earth. It has a symbiotic relationship with bacteria in its mouth. One bite from it will stop your brain from talking to your heart and lungs, and you drown in your own body. Great stuff. This octopus is the blanket octopus, and this holds the world record for having the largest sexual dimorphism between. So basically, the female is 40,000 times bigger than the male. I have no idea what it would be like to make love to that woman. This is the Great Pacific Octopus, a deep sea species. This holds the world record for looking after its children the longest. 53 months she stays under and blows oxygenated water across it. So, look at their skin. These are chromatophores, and they're cells that can change thickness, and they can change texture and colour. This is a piece of octopus skin that's been taken off the octopus, and shining different coloured lights on it makes it change colour without the octopus needing to use its central brain. And this is what they can do. They can change their colour and their texture, and this guy's also just going to do a little spurt of ink to show their other kind of like don't eat me mechanism, which is really cool. But not all octopuses have these, which is a shame. This is the southern burrowing octopus. It doesn't have chromatophores, so instead it fires water into the sand, causing it into quicksand, and as it goes under, it gives off loads of mucus to stop its burrow from collapsing in on it. Really nice. The octopuses are notoriously difficult to keep because they're masters of escape. The only hard part on them is their beak. So if they can get their beak through the hole, then all the rest of them can go through. And this means that if you try and keep them in aquariums, it's an absolute nightmare. For example, if you were to lock one in a jar, they can actually undo the jar from the inside out, which is pretty cool. I particularly like this one because he just goes, no, I'm going to go back in. So he gets out and then he's like, nah, just goes back in. There we go. But when you keep them in aquariums, they can also hold their breath and go across the floor. So if you try and keep them, they can undo filtration systems, they can go through, eat the fish, work their way back. If you put them in a tap by themselves, they go across the floor into other things. It's an absolute nightmare to keep them. But they can also use tools, and the ability to use tools is one of the kind of benchmarks for intelligence in an animal. This is the coconut octopus, and it finds two halves of coconuts and it carries them around with it all the time, and if it's threatened, it kind of just makes itself into a little coconut, which is brilliant. But it's nothing compared to this guy. This is the mimic octopus, and this learns by observing predator-prey interactions. It pretends to be 16 different types of animals depending on what predator it's confronted with. Look, there's a stingray, we've got a place. When you keep them in tanks, because they're so intelligent, they get really, really bored. And aquariums have to employ someone to look after them and play with them and give them toys. Just like you guys have a favourite doll when you were a kid, octopuses have a favourite doll as well. That happens to be Mr. Potato Head. But octopuses, unfortunately, have been dealt an ecological backhand. We have got iron-based blood, we have got haemoglobin, and it works really well at carrying oxygen around our bodies. Unfortunately, octopuses have got hemocyanin, which is copper-based, and it works loads better at low temperatures. But it means it doesn't carry very much oxygen. So octopuses have to have 3 hearts, 1 systemic heart, 2 branchial hearts in order for them to get that oxygenated water, blood around their system, and in the end they end up dying before we do. But what would happen if they lived as long as us? Well, being that we live on a blue planet, 70% of the planet is covered with water, they would totally be in charge because their rate of learning is so much more accelerated than ours, and they can do so much more cooler things. Just to show you they can be cute, this is my final slide. This one's called Opistoteuthis adorabilis. See, it's so cute. There we go, so that's why you all need to get octopus tattoos. Thank you very much.